This is Magnum Pi. Unfortunately, our audio didn't work for the recording of the first part of Chapter 4, so I'm going to give you a summary of what happened here before you listen to the second part. So let's recap. If you recall from the last chapter, the group all found themselves at Vinnie's garage with the lights out. Christopher, Grayson, and Elliot arrived in their cars outside, and Elliot had arrived much earlier and was inside when the lights went out. So we started with Elliot. Elliot dramatically failed a roll to see if he could move quietly, trying to open the door to the office and leave. But unfortunately, that was a dramatic failure, and he made a huge crash, sweared at his misfortune, and drew the attention of the adversary that was lurking in the darkness. Being unable to detect his adversary, Elliot was attacked in the dark from behind and injured. Fortunately for Elliot, however, his direction sense and parkour allowed him to navigate well in the darkness, avoid his adversary, and avoid the obstacles in the garage as he exited the shop. When he exits out onto the street, where the street lights are still illuminating the parking lot, he finds Grayson, Christopher, and Vinnie having just pulled up. The lights inside the shop return. They just snap back on, or rather the darkness goes away. And Elliot made his way back into the garage to open up the main doors, while Vinnie and Christopher were in Vinnie's car, Christopher wielding Vinnie's handgun. The goal was to do a sweep of the garage to see if they could target the assailant without presenting a target themselves. Grayson was to follow in after them. So, again, Elliot sneaking into the garage, opens the garage door for them. The other two in Vinnie's car squeal in, spin the car around inside the garage, and Christopher scans the area with the gun. They don't see anyone. They do notice that the office door is still open. Elliot, who was already inside having opened up the garage door, approached the office again and saw that the safe was wide open and the book was gone. Christopher gets out of the car and makes his way toward the office. He happens to hear the footsteps of the intruder, and he fires in that general direction, but he misses. Vinnie uses the car to try to block the personnel door to the garage, not the main bay door, but the one that people come in and out of. But he doesn't block it entirely. Christopher fires the gun again, hearing his assailant moving around in the garage. He hits his mark, but the bullet seems to stop and then drop without even having any sort of impact at all on his target. Elliot grabs a quart of oil and manages to coat their assailant with oil, marking his position. But unfortunately, despite this, they are unable to apprehend him before he manages to get out that personnel door that Vinnie was unable to block. Well, Elliot followed, and being the most maneuverable, was the first one out to continue following this invisible assailant. The rest follow as well and try to capture him. After some struggle with the invisible foe, Elliot finally screams out in desperation, just yelling at him, "Why is this book so important?" And the foe drops his invisibility. Of course, it's Mason standing before them. He tells Elliot that the book is the key to the universe, and then does a spinning kick to the head, knocking Elliot to the ground. The other two are unable to capture him, and Mason flees off into the dark night. Once the action settled, the trio noticed that Grayson actually was no longer waiting outside with his car. For some reason, he left them to face the threat alone. And now we continue with the second part of Chapter 4, where we see just what happened to Grayson. Hello, everybody. This is Magnum Pi. I'm here with Golgotha. We're going to actually fill in the blanks for what happened to Grayson Bridger in this part of this chapter. And how you doing there, Golgi?
I'm doing good. I'm just visiting my family, right now. So it's kind of nice to be out of town for a bit, but the game must go on.
That's right. Thank you for beaming in all the way out from wherever you are. Cool.
Parts unknown.
Yes, from parts unknown. That's right. Was that the Ultimate Warrior?
I think so. Yeah,
I think that
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think it was actually from Houston or someplace. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
parts. It's parts unknown. Okay, parts unknown. That's where it's
Hey,
from.
look who's also like
Hey,
in the
look.
background. It's DT. How you doing there,
Hey,
DT?
I'm not bad.
Just lurking.
Just lurking. Yeah, that's a good word.
I got a
Just
peanut gallery.
yeah,
That's great.
exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, cool. So yeah. So we kind of you weren't here for the last bit, but again, what happened from the last perspective that you had was you pulled up to Vinnie's garage. It was dark, and everybody kind of got out of the car to go into the garage because the lights came back on, and and Elliot came stumbling out of the garage through the kind of single person door, not the main garage door. And and that's really the last thing your character remembers until you come to standing in a very unfamiliar neighborhood in front of your back is to a very rundown house. And and you're standing. It's dark. There's street lights. You're on the street. The neighborhood looks rather like there's stuff. Like the sidewalks crumbled and cracked, and the road looks like it has lots of potholes and things like that. It doesn't look like it's a very well kept neighborhood. Some of the houses are boarded up across the way. And there you stand on the sidewalk with your back to the steps leading up to a house behind you. There's sounds coming from the house.
Is there sounds coming from the house? You said.
Yeah, it sounds almost kind of party-ish, like low kind of bass music. And yeah,
What do I see in front of me?
right in front of you is a street. There's cars parked along the street. That sort of thing. It's yeah, like across the street are other houses. Like I said, some of them are boarded up. Some have bars on the windows, things like that. The cars are not looking to be mint. They're rather older cars. It's cold. It's around freezing.
Do I get an idea of where I'm at? Like any idea? Like, does it look familiar at all?
Looking around at the license plates, they're still Illinois license plates, so you haven't left the state. You don't know where your car is.
All right. Do I have my cell phone?
You feel your pockets, and yeah, you still have your cell phone.
Okay. Now, again, depending upon what year it is, would there be
You
a
also
thing on
feel
my?
you also feel something else in your pockets.
Oh,
It's
okay. What else do
soft.
I have in my pocket?
Yeah, you pull it out. It's a pair of women's panties.
Okay. Well, that's unpleasant. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna start walking.
Which way would you like to go?
Um, I'm just gonna look in a particular direction. Where I hear traffic.
Okay, cool. So you start walking to where you can hear cars moving around, and yeah, you head down the road a ways in that direction. You get the feeling like that you really don't belong here.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people on the road, like walking down the sidewalk at this time of night. You do
Yeah, I'm just trying
see...
to get an idea of where the streets are. Like if I can see a street sign.
Yep, yep. You come to the next intersection, and based on the streets and your knowledge of Chicago, tells you that you are in the neighborhood of Englewood, which
Oh.
is not a good neighborhood. South Side,
Yeah.
yeah, you you stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. So, I am going to. So, based upon where the street is, do I have an idea of where I could get to a main, like a more of a main street?
Yeah, you could probably make your way. Essentially, if you follow any of these streets, going either north or south or east or west, you're going to end up intersecting with a major artery at one point or another. But walking there would be a really bad idea.
Well, I don't know how many choice I have. Is there a bus station around or a bus stop?
Yeah, but you look at your watch and the time of night. You could hang around on the bus stop if you want. I mean, you could also try looking for your car. That's the other thing. Like you do still have like your fob and whatnot. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll do that thing. Do I hear it?
You push the button there, and you've walked a bit of a distance. So turning back and walking back to where you were, as you get closer, you can hear kind of the beep of your car coming from behind the house that you were standing in front of, kind of like parked in the alley sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get to the alley and get to my car.
Oh, you're going to walk all the way around to the alley
Yeah.
entrance?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Give me a wits plus streetwise check.
What's plus streetwise? Oh. Well, I'm not going to do well in the streetwise part, but
All
there we
right.
go.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you head around and you make your way past a couple of guys that are just kind of walking along. They look at you as you walk by, and yeah, soon you. Well, let's do this. Wits plus composure, please.
1.
All right. So we'll favor the player here on the tie, and yeah, you hear some footsteps coming up behind you,
Okay, turn around.
and there's 2 guys there. Hey there, brother. What's going on? You lost?
Just going to my car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about we help you out there? Make sure nothing bad happens to you on the way to your car.
Thank you. I'm actually doing okay, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. And they just kind of stand there watching you.
Okay, I'll keep walking.
Okay. Keep walking. You can hear some footsteps following along behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Anything you'd like to do?
How far away am I from a car?
You're almost to the end of the block before you turn right to get to where the alley dumps out into the street.
Well, I'm going to get on my phone and start talking to somebody. So I'm going to call Samantha.
All right. You flip out your phone and you make a call. And as you start dialing, you hear the footsteps getting faster behind you, and we will need to roll some initiative, I think.
Of course we will. All right.
Again, I'll add your turn, but
Oops.
always remember in the future to click your token before
Sorry, I
you roll
forgot
initiative.
to.
Yeah.
I don't know why I rolled that anyways. I didn't actually roll it. Okay, that's weird. Never mind. I thought I rolled it.
You did roll it.
Oh, right, because I just clicked on it. Yeah, that's right. That's how that works.
And let me just roll. Cool. And these guys are going to have won't give them any different initiative bonus than you. There you go. All right. So they step up behind, and you hear one of them say, "Hey now there, man, you don't need to make any phone calls." And he's going to grab at your phone. So
I'm going to resist this.
yes, what's your defense?
My defense is. My defense is 4.
All right. All right, so the first one will only get a chance die as he tries to grab for your phone and fails. And the other guy, he's going to basically draw a gun and point it at you. And he will say, "Hey, why don't you toss us those car keys and your wallet and that phone?"
All right. Car isn't worth my life.
Yeah. So, right, the guy that missed there, he starts to. How's your character feeling at this point?
I'm concerned. I'm being robbed at gunpoint, so
A little
that's not a
fearful.
good position to be in.
Probably a little fearful, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, you feel a sort of tugging on the back of your mind, and it's kind of uncomfortable. It's kind of like something kind of prying in at the base of your skull. Yeah, it's not the most pleasant of sensations. I'm gonna need you to give me a resolve plus composure check.
Okay. Resolve plus composure. Any negatives?
No.
Oops. There you go.
All right.
Oh, I didn't.
All right. You come to, and there are 2 men laying on the ground before you that are dead. They've been shot through the chest. You have the barrel of the gun in your hand is steaming from the end, and you have several shots, bullet holes in your shirt, blood. About three bullet holes are blood, and you stand there holding the gun. You aren't injured though.
So I've got bullet holes in my shirt, but I'm not injured.
Yeah, and your shirt's like soaked through with blood, but you're not injured.
Holy shit.
And
okay,
you
so-
also, in your other hand, you get the sensation that you've just stood up. You have your wallet, keys, and phone kind of all grabbed together in that hand. You're in the same spot that you were when these guys walked up to you.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a beeline and get to my car really, really, really quickly and get the hell out of here because I've just shot 2 people, apparently.
Yeah. And you run.
Yeah.
Yep. And you make your way down the alley. You can see your car. It's really not parked very well. It's parked in such a fashion that it looks like you've nearly hit a telephone pole and a fence. Like you just kind of went right up off this onto the side of the alley there, and kind of on a very sharp angle put your car onto the back of this property. The fence, you can see into the backyard. There are people in various states of unconsciousness strewn about in the backyard. Some people are not unconscious. They seem to be hovered around a fire that's burning in a barrel, passing something between themselves. Looks like a pipe of some sort. There's lights on in the house. There's that again, right, like a party sound going on.
So I'm going to try to get to my car quietly.
Yeah, sure. Give me a dexterity plus stealth check.
Okay, I don't think let's see. Yeah, dexterity plus stealth. Oh, I do have stealth. And I'm going to try really hard on this. So I'm going to use willpower.
Okay, drag it out.
Oops. Here. There we go.
All right.
All right. Oops, I don't want resolve. Why is resolve still on? Dexterity plus stealth. Okay, there we go. There we go.
All right, 2 successes. Just going to see. And they rolled 2. Of course they did. I rolled 2 dice. Anyway, so you open up the car and get in, and you look up just as you're about to kind of duck your head into the car, and you see some girl kind of leaning on the fence, looking at you. She looks kind of half with it. She's kind of swaying from side to side.
Okay, good. I'm just going to get in and drive away.
Okay, you get in just as you're closing the door. She's like, "Hey, do you still have my underwear?"
Just driving away.
Okay, you put it into reverse, peel back, and slam it. Where are you going?
Out of this neighborhood, and again, I'm not going to drive in an inappropriate way. I'm going to drive the speed limit. I'm going to be reasonable. I'm just going to go to as quickly as reasonably and legally to a main road.
Okay.
And drive back.
Cool. As you do so, I'm going to ask you to give me a check for a breaking point.
Okay.
You've had some interesting encounters in the last little bit here. And yeah, hello, breaking points again. There you go. What's your integrity these days?
My integrity these days is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5.
5. All right, so you're at a +0 there. And you were not successful in your meditation earlier, right?
No.
Only Vinnie was. You were protecting yourself, so that gives you a +1.
I was also not really aware of what I was doing.
That doesn't seem to always weigh in so nicely.
Fair enough.
But yeah, people will still feel really guilty about things that they weren't fully in control of. Mm-hmm. So what's your virtue?
My virtue is purposefulness, and I'm purposefully going home.
Right, but you were not at the time acting with purposefulness. No.
I mean, I was defense. I mean, that's purposeful, trying to survive.
But that's not what you mean by your virtue, though. Yeah. I think you mean acting with, intent and purpose and meaning in life, things like that. Okay. What's your vice?
My vice is cynicism.
Okay, cool. So, your bonuses so far are just going to be +1 because you were protecting yourself. Did you want to spend willpower on this roll?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So drag out one of those willpower. And so that brings you to a total of +4. And now if we take a look at the penalties, we are looking at you endured a mental supernatural attack, so that's -2. You you killed in self-defense, -4.
Oh, I'm now at,
and then you also then witnessed a supernatural occurrence, right? Something's not right here, right? You're definitely entrenched in some sort of supernatural occurrence here, and I'm going to say that with the lost time and that it's happened twice, we'll probably say you're at another -3, probably. So
I'm at 0.
Okay, so you're at a chance die.
Well, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah. Now you can just choose to fail, or sorry, you can. What do you have for? You have informed and guilty. No, you can't just choose to fail. If you do fail, you can always choose to take a dramatic failure, but that's up to you.
Okay, so what do I roll? I mean, it's a chance die.
Just a chance. Yeah.
Don't you have any willpower?
He already spent
I
it.
used my willpower.
Oh shoot!
Had I known, had I realized I wouldn't have gotten anything, I might not have spent it.
Yeah, that's why we do bonuses first.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just
it's
can't
true
stop
enough.
killing people, eh?
Apparently. All right, chance die. No modifiers, so there's at least that. It's quite literally 0 in the nose.
All right, so that's just a failure.
Yeah, but no, but why was I rolling dexterity and stealth? I shouldn't be rolling that, should I?
That's right. You should be rolling resolve and composure.
Okay, resolve and composure. Okay, so resolve and composure.
I'll give you a beat for the breaking point.
Okay, so that's 5. Resolve plus composure.
Actually,
Okay.
it doesn't really matter. You don't have to roll again because you're just rolling a chance die.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah, so you just failed. You can opt for a dramatic failure. That just gives a different set of conditions to choose from.
I think I'll be okay with. I'm not going to take a dramatic in this case.
Okay, so you are either shaken, spooked, or guilty.
I think this clearly is a guilty.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's not necessarily so clear. I mean, you could be scared about what's happened to you. You could be spooked right by it. What's that? Sorry?
Is that what that means? Okay, I'd be scared, actually.
Well, you could also be spooked, which means like you're just become like this is what spooked means.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
here it comes. Right, it's almost kind of like a mini obsession.
Okay, actually, I do like this one.
Okay, hold on. Well, just hold on. We'll show you. This one's shaken. This would be that you're scared shitless, right?
Okay, that also makes sense.
And then this is guilty.
Let's go with shaken.
You're shaken? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to... And this is, you are shaken by... just going to say by being possessed. There you are. You also lose a point of integrity. So reduce yourself down to 4 now.
Woohoo!
All right, so you drive around just kind of recalling all these things. You find yourself white-knuckling it. You're kind of even shaking and cold as you drive to wherever you're going. You kind of don't even have a direction at first. You're just
Right.
sort of roaming around.
But trying to keep it together as best I can so I don't look suspicious.
That's right. Yeah, which, okay. You're driving casual. Cool. There you go. And, yeah. Where do you go?
Well, first I'm going to go to a place where I could dump that gun into the river, maybe.
Okay. So you find the nearest place where you could dump the gun. So you drive toward the river, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. And
A
yeah,
place where where there wouldn't be anybody who could see it.
yeah, you find a dark and secluded spot, and you pull over and head out to a bit of a, place where they tie up barges and stuff. And you lob the gun into the river.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, get back in the car, and am I wearing a suit jacket?
You are wearing a bloodied, whatever you would have been wearing earlier when you went and did the research with, because you went right from work, right?
Right.
So, yeah, you're wearing, it's bloodied. Your shirt is bloodied. Your tie is bloodied. Again, you're not bleeding, but,
Well, I'm going to take those off. Do I have anything like my gym bag in the trunk or something, and I can put another shirt on?
I don't know. Would you have?
Well, I do to go to the gym, but I don't know if that would be necessarily there.
Well, then let's just say no.
Okay,
I
fair
guess,
enough.
If it wouldn't be there necessarily, it wouldn't be there. So, where are you heading?
I'm going to. Well, I'm going to again drive around a little bit and think about where the best place to go would be. I'm going to. I'm going to go to Sam's.
Okay. So you head to her place, which is down near the university. And, yeah, you drive in, up to her building. And, yeah, there you are in the car. Turn it off.
Okay. I'm going to. What time is it about?
You look at your watch, and it is probably about, I'd say probably about 10:30. Well, actually, you went down to the river, so let's say close to 11 o'clock.
Okay. So I'm going to give. Well, I'm going to actually. She lives in an apartment, right?
Or a condo.
Our condo.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's a multi-door building, right? Like it's got lots of residents. It's not a house. Yeah.
Right. Of course, yeah. So I'm going to give her a call.
Okay, you call from the car, and she answers the phone. Hello, Grayson.
Hey Sam, I don't want you to be too worried, but I was attacked.
What?
And yeah.
Where?
It's a long story. Do you have any of my clothes at your place, or anything, a shirt you could bring to me? I'm just outside I'm just outside of the your condo.
Oh, I can see your car. Yeah, let me find something. Yeah,
Thank you.
and yeah, for what seems like an eternity, you kind of slink down in the car, right? Stay low. She comes running out across the sort of turnaround in front of the entrance there, and over to your car. And she knocks on the window.
Okay, I open the door. Hey,
What? You're bleeding.
it's so I'm going to take off my shirt and my tie and put on the other shirt.
Yeah, she says it was Albert's, but here.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to you? Are you okay?
Let's go and.
Is that your blood?
I don't know. Let's go in and I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Come on. And she buzzes you guys in, and you head up to her place. She's rummaging around in her kitchen. Would you like tea or something stronger?
Much stronger, please. Thank you.
All right. She goes up above her fridge and brings down a bottle of scotch. I know you like this stuff.
Bring the bottle.
Yeah.
Just bring the bottle.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
I've told you a little bit about my I guess I'll refer to them as my new friends. Um, Chris, for example. Sorry, I'm still a little shaken here. Anyways, we were investigating something. I think I've told you a little bit about it. We're still kind of trying to figure out information about that book, right? We've talked about this,
Right.
and anyways, we were going to another location with two other individuals who were kind of aware of this and who were kind of helping us. And anyways, there was something that was happening at in his business, and next thing I remember, I was unconscious apparently, and I woke up in Inglewood.
You woke up in Inglewood.
Yeah. My car was there, so I must have driven there. I don't remember anything about it. Anyways, when I was going to get my car, two men jumped me.
And then what happened?
They threatened me. They told me to turn over my keys, my wallet, and the cell phone. I was actually trying to call you when they stopped. And then everything kind of went blank again, and I didn't see anything. Or I was unconscious to everything. Then I became aware of my surroundings again. Some time had passed, and they were dead.
They were dead?
They were dead. I have no memory of what happened. I had this bloody shirt, and take a look at this. And I show her the shirt. There are 3 holes in this shirt. Like I was shot, but I look at it, there's no injuries. What happened?
I don't know. Mason, this sounds very, very strange. Who killed those men?
I don't know.
Give me a manipulation plus subterfuge check.
Yeah.
You have your suspicions, I'm sure that you're...
Yeah, I'm very much have my suspicions.
Yeah, so it's you're trying to... You're pretty well trying to conceal that it might have been you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what am I... So
manipulation and subterfuge.
Manipulation and subterfuge.
Yeah. And now this, for example...
I'm going to try.
This, you could use shaken on this because it has to do with the situation surrounding everything there, right? So if you wanted to choose to just fail, you could get yourself a beat by cashing in shaken.
Right. Actually, that's true. You can do that because, I mean, yeah, I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to cash it in by saying it could have been me.
Well, you don't even have to do that. You can just say even all the denial in the world, you just suck at it right now because you're just being shaken.
Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually when she asks, I go, maybe me.
Okay, but you were prior to that denying ish. Yeah. Okay, so it'll still apply.
Well, I mean, just because I mean, in my brain, I can't put the like. I mean, I was being evasive, but not in a way that I couldn't believe it's me because there was no indication of how it could be me. But
except the fact that you were holding the smoking gun.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, cool. So she's like, I don't know what to say. We should. This is something that this is something they tell us about with the sect. You know,
What do you mean?
to harden us against things that will try to control us. It sounds like you've been controlled by something.
So let me tell you more of what's been happening. So while I'm talking to her, I'm going to talk to her about the situation in the library with the field that we saw and the football player and the cheerleader,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm recognizing I'm going back on all those times I was kind of urged to do something, kind of resisted it. Um,
And sometimes you've given
but
into it too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but those instances where I'd like be following somebody and then stop myself, why am I doing this? Right. So I'm kind of going to go over this and say, I mean, so do you think that could have anything to do with it?
I don't know, Grayson. That's not my area of expertise.
Who might be, whose expertise might it be?
I'm sure my father knows somebody in Chinatown. Are you sure you're not feeling? Maybe you should be talking to a doctor.
I don't know if a doctor can help me with this.
Don't even know what this is.
Nor do I. But physically, I kind of take off my shirt and I'm not even bruised. There were two big guys. Nothing. Nothing happened except they're dead.
Hmm. This is really freaking me out, Grayson.
Me too. I'm gonna take a big swig of that scotch.
Yeah. And she takes the bottle after you and takes a big swig as well. All right. So, resolve plus composure plus 1. That's what I need from you.
Resolve plus composure plus 1.
Yeah. No, you're still on chance die.
Oh, sorry.
And you got to get rid of subterfuge as well.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's get rid of subterfuge. Let's not do the chance die. Let's do normal die. And no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Oh, no whammies.
All right. Unfortunately, you feel a very strong urge to come on to her. And,
I'm going to resist this.
yeah, that's fine. You gain a beat if you don't, but you can just choose to resist.
I'm resisting this.
Yeah. And she just kind of looks at you. She's like, why are you looking at me like that, Grayson?
And I kind of turn around and say, I think I need to find somebody who would help me deal with whatever's happening to me.
Yes, I think so. Are you... You should stay on the couch, I think.
Yeah.
I'll get you a blanket and a pillow.
Thank you.
All right. And she goes and brings back said blanket and pillow and gets you set up on the couch there. And yeah, she goes back to her room, and you can hear her kind of rummage around a little bit before things fall quiet. Is there anything you want to do?
Probably just stare at the roof for a while and kind of replay in my mind everything that went down, see if I could remember anything that happened, like anything that happened between being threatened and then kind of regaining my senses and seeing the two bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, anything during those times that I just kind of told you came to, that's just blank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what you got. You could probably check your body again for holes, but there are none. And, yeah. So there you are. Can you sleep? That's the question. I don't know.
No,
No?
not even
All
a
right.
bit.
So you lay there wide awake. All right. Eventually you kind of give up on the whole sleep endeavor. Is there anything you'd like to do since you're awake?
She said that her father might know some people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a call.
The middle of the night?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty late, isn't it?
It is.
Um,
Yeah. By this point, it's after midnight.
right. I'm gonna go in her medicine chest to see if she's got like any sleeping pills or anything.
Okay. You head into the bathroom there and you look for some stuff. And yeah, she's got like, what is it, melatonin or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So you pop a couple of those.
I'll take a couple of those and lie back down, and I will drift into a fitful sleep.
All right. Cool. So, yeah, you sleep, and you will wake up the next day, and you'll have yourself a willpower point. Well, she'll rouse you fairly early.
Mm-hmm.
And, Grayson, are you going to work today?
I think I'm going to call in sick, but I think I probably need to talk to your father if he has any idea of what is going on here. I think this needs to be dealt with as quickly and as expeditiously as possible.
Oh, yes, I agree. He might, like I said, he probably knows somebody that can help. I can't miss work today.
No,
I'm sorry.
Of course.
No, but
of course.
I'll let him know you're coming.
Thank you. I'm going to go home and get washed up and changed, and we'll meet. I'll meet him at a place. I'll give him a call as well and let him know that I'm coming.
All right. Cool.
Sam,
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Grayson. I really hope you get better.
Yeah. So I get up and I go outside and go to my car.
Okay. You get down there and, yeah. As you, sit in the car and, I don't know, do you typically listen to the radio or anything like that, or?
Not usually.
No, you're just a quiet driver.
Maybe I'll feel compelled today because of because of what happened.
Well, it's up to you. I'm just curious what your normal habits would be, but yeah, it's up to you.
So I'm gonna drive back to the my where I live, and yeah, I think it is important. I think I will probably turn on the news at least.
All right, cool. And you go searching for a channel or something like that, and you realize that the station that it starts up on is not something that you would normally have ever listened to. It's really heavy rap and the like, not something that you are particularly fond of, but you bring it over to and again, more violence. Last night in Englewood, 2 men shot on the corner of blah 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 and blah blah blah, where you were basically. And police are looking for suspects. We'll have more on this as information comes. in addition, the blacktop killer has struck again. Another body found on highway, blah, 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 they say. And, as you realize that listening to the news is probably not the thing to lift your spirits.
No, it's actually kind of
and kick it off. Yeah. Anything else you would normally do in the car when you get in the car?
No, just listen to. I'm going to put on some music or something just to get my mind off things for a bit.
Cool. So you head to your house.
Yeah. In the meantime, I've also called in that I'm going to be ill, and so lectures are canceled for the day.
Yep. And were you going to talk to David or by phone? I know you're coming.
Well, she said she's going to call. She's going to let him know that I'd be coming, or I said I'd call as well. So just find a place to meet up.
Okay. So you give him a call then?
Yeah.
Okay. And as you're kind of coming in through the door, you're on your phone. It goes through and, hello, Grayson. This is David.
Hi. Has Samantha talked to you yet?
Yes, she said that you were having some trouble. I do know some of the older residents in Chinatown that may have things that can help.
Excellent. Is there a time when we could get together?
Let me see here. Why don't you come by around 10 o'clock today?
All right, sounds good.
At the Consolidated Chinese Benevolent Association.
I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And we're going to tie it up there. It's a little short, but that kind of brings your character back into line with where, at least in sync with what other people are doing here. So
yeah, and certainly more complicated.
Yeah, you've definitely got more complicated for sure. So, the football player cheerleader is definitely flexing. So,
yeah, that needs to be dealt with.
mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, if
you're
you
racking up a big body count there, Golgi.
Well, I mean, in my defense, the first guy, he did trip over my, and I just kind of give him a nudge, and he was coming at me. That was.
We're gonna go through this again. Did you watch that episode?
They were all self-defense. These have all been self-defense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, so a big body count.
Screw you. Anyways.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe. If you want to hear when we're going to have some more, hit the bell. Put any conversation, comments, anything like that down below. We'd love to hear from you. Join us on our Discord. I'm Magnum Pi. I'm here with Golgotha and the lurking Dark Templar. And we are Initiative Zero. Good night.
Good night.